Early this morning, a fire broke out in a terraced house in Kentish Town in North London. It lasted about 20 minutes, damaged the front door, injured no one, but this was not any ordinary home. This was the property still owned, though now let out by the sitting Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer. And while the flames were swiftly extinguished, the implications continued to smoulder. At 1:11 a.m., the London Fire Brigade was alerted to a blaze on Countess Road. 2 engines responded, bringing the fire under control within 22 minutes. Police arrived shortly after, cordoning off the area, and counter-terrorism officers were brought in because of the high-profile nature of the address. The cause of the fire hasn't been confirmed. Some neighbours reported hearing a loud bang, suggestive of an accelerant or a targeted act. Others remarked on the eerie quiet, noting how quickly the fire was brought under control and how little obvious damage was actually done. The entrance was scorched. The residents, tenants, not the Starmers themselves, were unharmed. Yet no one is brushing this off as random mischief. This was not a pub ashtray flung in anger. This was a deliberate ignition at the private residence of the nation's leader. And Sir Keir Starmer purchased the house in 2004 for £650,000, now valued at over £2 million. It stands in a relatively affluent pocket of North London, home to actors, ministers, journalists, and has been a site of protest before. In April last year, demonstrators from Youth Demand hung a banner accusing Starmer of complicity in killing, referencing the Gaza conflict. Red handprints and rows of children's shoes were placed outside his house. His wife, Lady Starmer, told the court the protest left her feeling a bit sick, and one imagines this incident has done little to reassure her. This follows a disturbing pattern from Joe Cox to Sir David Amess. The United Kingdom has seen 2 members of Parliament murdered in recent memory, and the personal homes of Rishi Sunak and David Lammy have also been targeted by activists in the last couple of years. But this fire, unlike a legal protest or a shouted slogan, marks a turn into something darker. If proven to be arson, it is not just protest but intimidation, not just political but criminal. And there is a grotesque symbolism in attacking a front door, the threshold between public life and private refuge. The message, whether political or personal, is chilling: we know where you live. In a functioning democracy, elected representatives must be accessible, yes, but not vulnerable to pyromaniacal theatre. There's a reason we guard homes, not just offices. That counter-terror police are investigating is both reassuring and alarming. On the one hand, it suggests seriousness. On the other, it reflects how porous the safety net has become for even the most senior figures. There are questions too about deterrence. If this is the work of a lone actor, that is bad enough. If this is meant to incite or inspire others, then it raises the stakes exponentially. This event is not about whether one likes or dislikes the Prime Minister, not whether one agrees with his stance on Palestine, immigration, or tax, or VAT on private schools. It's about the rule of law, the bounds of protest, and the sanctity of private life. Political criticism is the lifeblood of democracy. Violence, vandalism, and firebombs, if that is what this was, are its poison. More profoundly, we must ask what political temperature we're allowed to we have allowed to rise unchecked. What failure of discourse permits such an escalation? When leaders are targeted at home, we all lose something. The presumption that argument can remain civil, the protest can remain lawful, that private lives can remain sacrosanct, all gone. We do not know yet whether the fire on Countess Road was politically motivated, personally directed, or tragically random, but the symbolism is unmistakable and the danger real. As Sir Keir Starmer has thanked the emergency services, so should we. But gratitude alone is insufficient. This is a moment to reflect on the kind of politics we are becoming and to decide collectively whether we will allow fear to replace dialogue and fire to replace debate. The house can be repaired, the door can be replaced, but what about the trust that is gradually eroding in our nation's discourse, in the way that we do politics, in the way that we discuss, in the way that we debate, in the way that we consider? Is something that's gone dreadfully wrong.